Hey, I went to a fundraiser to support a Republican candidate for local office. Let's talk about it on this episode of the MC Tutor Show.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule cause you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, cause I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast, and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts, and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring, and George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
It's MC Tutor, your hardcore, fierce and sexy host, and you're watching the MC Tutor Show. I was at a Republican fundraiser last night in a church, a house of God, for a Republican candidate that used to be a cop. So it's all these things that the evil left just despises. Cops, Republicans, and God. So there I was, and I finally got to meet the candidate that I've been endorsing and supporting. And I got to finally put my money where my mouth is and attend this fundraiser. Of course, you have to contribute to the funds to attend a fundraiser. And that I did because I truly believe in this candidate for District 47 of New York Assembly, John Riccatoni. As I mentioned, he's an ex-police officer. He has something to do with education of children now. I have to look into the exact title of that office. Or that organization in which he is the president. And from there, he is seeking the office of state assemblyman that has been held by William Colton since 1997. And I spoke with one of the other attendees there, and he told me something that I could not argue with. He says, this is Bill Colton. He sees which way the wind blows, and then he goes there. Instead of just sticking to his guns like John Riccatoni has done his whole life. And most of these attendees remember John Riccatoni from when he was a police officer. Some people even know him since before then. And he's actually been there helping people, saving their lives. One person there had a very moving speech and spoke of how John Riccatoni was at his mother's wake when a lot of that person's other friends were not there. And John Riccatoni came and showed support and gave his condolences. And that is a true person that cares about the people. And a big issue he's been talking about lately is the piles and piles of garbage that have been sprouting up on street corners and in parks. And it is dangerous. It is dangerous. These piles of garbage are rat infested. A rat could jump out of any one of these given piles of garbage and bite a child. That could be your child. I mentioned that in the last video. Think about areas like Bay Parkway and 86th Street where the piles of garbage are mounted up to sort of like my chest or even eye level, okay? And if a pile of garbage is that high, the chances are there could actually be people sleeping in them. Obviously, mentally ill people who are comfortable with sleeping in a pile of garbage. And if they're that mentally off or drug addicted, they could sprout up out of these piles of garbage, mug an old lady, take her purse, and buy more drugs to support their habit. John Riccatoni becomes assemblyman. That comes to an abrupt end. We're not just talking about fines, we're talking about getting the mentally ill homeless people off the streets to give them the proper care to either turn their lives around or be separate from the rest of society where they won't harm the rest of society, depending on the level of their incapacitation to make their own decisions. And we're looking into that. He's also opposed to the evils of the homeless shelter on 25th Avenue and 86th Street. I'm against that as well. So is incumbent State Senator Steve Chan, who I also support, and incumbent Congresswoman for District 11, Nicole Maliotakis, who I also support. So we get a full well-roundedness when we get rid of the incumbent in our state assembly and put John Riccatoni there. And why would I say that? If Bill Colton was side by side with Steve Chan back in the day when they were protesting much harder than they are now in the fall. Well, since those protests, Bill Colton has left Steve Chan's side and started to endorse Steve's opponent. And he no longer opposes but supports this horrible, horrible homeless shelter. He learned that Democrats don't like his stance against the homeless shelter, so he changed his stance to being for the homeless shelter. Instead of saying this should not be a partisan issue, I stand with the people of the community for which I represent, and I still remain opposed to this homeless shelter. He did not do that. He listened to the radicals of his party and said, oh, you don't like my opposition to the homeless shelter? Okay, I'm not opposed to the homeless shelter anymore. He's a flip-flopper. It's like that fellow attendee to the fundraiser told me. He just kisses his finger, puts it to the wind, see where it blows. But he doesn't use that to measure his constituents' sentiments. He uses that to measure his party's sentiments. Bill Colton may seem like a nice old man with a grandfatherly mustache smiling at you, but he is a partisan hack. And the fact that he's been there that long, solved nothing in all the time he's been there, that only proves it. Bill Colton is a partisan hack. And speaking of the garbage piled on every street corner, have you seen the front of his very office? It looks just like these areas we see in the videos. It is horrendous. It is disgusting. Bill Colton has become the representative of garbage. When you elect Democrats, you get garbage. And it's taken literal form right here. And that's why for District 47 in New York, I'm supporting John Riccatoni. And I even got this cool shirt. When they say all I got was a lousy t-shirt, there is nothing lousy about this. This is a pretty cool design. I love the red, white, and blue design. Hey, if you go like this, it has my name on it. But I'm going to continue to support this man until he wins office, because, hey, it's something I could say I've done to put a Republican in a position of power. That I've actively went out and did something to help put a Republican in a position of power. This way, if you're opposed to the Republicans, as they say in Scarface, you could point your finger at me and say, that's the bad guy. And while you're at it, enjoy your clean streets and your children not being indoctrinated. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. And if you're within my district, you know who to support. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building, hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero, an active supporter of Republican candidates running for office, MC Too Tall. You be good now. Don't be gross.